Welcome to Not the Northern Mids podcast. Guys, it's a bonus video that sort of happened at the end of the year because I caved to peer pressure. No, me and Dinah like recording these extra fun things. This year we're going to do the knitting tag, which is 39 questions. I found the tag originally from Beetle Babe, Beatle, and then Babe on YouTube. So she sort of compiled and put the tag together roughly. So we're going to give all the credit to all the questions to her because we certainly didn't think of any of these by any stretch of the imagination. Because it's a quick bonus and extra video, we're just going to dive right into the questions because there's 2 of us and 39 questions. Get some tea. We could be here a while.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you want to start us off?
Sure. Question the first. Do you do any other crafts? Yes.
I feel like I should start laughing maniacally now.
We do so many crafts. In addition to knitting, I crochet sometimes. I have crocheted a thing.
God, that's adorable.
He recently got a little hat. It came off of somebody's, I don't know, British vodka bottle, so now the little Poro has a little bowler. This thing was so irritating to crochet because it's like fun fur yarn, so I couldn't see the stitches at all. I just sticking the hook in and hoping.
Fun fur yarn's the worst. It feels so good, but it's so annoying to work with.
But it came out so cute.
Do I do other crafts?
What craft?
Don't I do? Not a lot out there. For fun, I made a display lantern with a Christmas theme in it. There's photos and videos of that floating around. I too also crochet. Here's a blanket I made last year. It's just a granny square blanket made out of leftovers because that's what I do. I also spin occasionally. I sew. I'm learning to spin. I'm learning to cross stitch. Would you like this blanket on the floor so you can lie on it as well? I'm also the proud owner of a cat, so I do all the weird cat things that only cat parents do. So yeah, no, I do a lot of crafting other than knitting.
In addition to knitting and crochet, I dabble in sewing. All of my sewn masks are in the laundry at the moment, so I'm not going to show those because they are contaminated.
Yes.
But yeah, some light dabbling in sewing. I have dabbled in spinning that I haven't touched in months, and I occasionally dabble in painting minis for a Warhammer because that's the thing that Mr. Diana is into, and we do that together sometimes.
Hey, I sew well enough that if I can find the top end of this, because that's always a question I need to ask myself. Mm-hmm. When Diana got married 3 years ago now? You're the one who got married. You should know.
2018. So we're at the end of 2020. So yep. 2 and a bit years.
I sewed my dress I wore to her wedding.
It's a very pretty dress. I am jealous of the skill.
I've lost enough weight. I actually need to pull this dress apart and put it back together again because it is too big.
And through the miracles of handmade clothing, one can do this.
Since I know exactly how I put it together, I know exactly how to take it apart and fix it. So it is on the mend pile, but it's this really beautiful rayon fabric. So there's like a ton of stretch in it, which makes it an excellent summer dress in a nice deep black blue background with some beautiful deep blue roses on it. It was an excellent summer wedding dress. And once I've made it smaller, I can wear it again. Because I lost 40 pounds. I don't fit that dress anymore.
That'll make things not fit.
Fits in the chest fine. It's just too big everywhere. Of course it is. It's why I sew, guys. My body's slightly funny portioned. Okay, question the second. Do you have any other hobbies? I feel like video games.
Video games.
I read. I'm actually an avid reader.
I read sometimes. Yeah, less avid since the invention of video games.
I think we're reversed. I think you're an avid video game player, and I'm a weekender. Like I play video games, but not that often. But I am an avid reader, but you're a weekend reader.
Yeah, like audiobooks while doing chores on the weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I am a big Warhammer enthusiast. I don't have a husband to blame for that passionate time sink. I fell into the hobby 10 years ago and I love it. I love playing games. I love building my own miniatures. I participate in a fantasy football league every year where I have a tiny little fantasy football team and they go play games. I essentially have my tiny little toy army and I go to other boys' houses and I play with their tiny toy armies. I am a giant child.
I do that too on occasion, but far less often.
I do it a lot. So yeah, definitely have other hobbies and stuff that we do, but the primary one for us is knitting, crocheting, and chatting at each other.
I suppose I stream coding on occasion as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, that would be a hobby.
It's another hobby. Because in
All
case
sorts
anyone
of
wasn't
things.
aware, I'm a software developer by day. My day job. I make a living writing arcane characters and just hoping for the best.
No, that's not the case. All right, you're up.
So that was hobbies.
That was number 2. You're number 3.
Number 3, where do you knit? Everywhere,
In this
all the time.
very chair. We're in the
This
middle of the pandemic. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah, this
Chair,
chair,
my
the
couch, my bed.
Don't knit in bed. I
I
have a
do knit in
lovely.
bed.
In the living room, there is a chair that is the perfect size for me to knit in. Like it's got these very low armrests that are absolutely perfect for resting my elbows on while I'm knitting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
I
the
know the
perfect
chair.
height, and it's perfectly ergonomic for knitting.
Mm-hmm. I miss your guys' swivel chair. I sank into that thing.
All tall people do seem to like that chair. It's
Nice
a good
and
tall
deep.
people chair.
You could sit in it and don't feel like a giant person in a kiddie chair. I knit everywhere. My couch, my bed, my floor, upstairs, in a truck, cars, public spaces. When we could
On
go
a
to public
plane, on a
spaces,
train.
plane. Yeah, I knit everywhere. If there's a
would-
bus stops, buses,
I would knit here or there. I would knit it anywhere.
sushi restaurants, regular restaurants, doctor's appointments.
I totally knit in meetings.
Yeah.
Not in office meetings, but with this age of video meetings, in meetings.
Which really works for that, because number 4 is, when do you knit? Morning, afternoon, evening, or anytime?
All the time, anytime.
All the
Mostly
time,
evening.
anytime. All
Mostly
the time.
evening.
All the time. From there's some mornings I get up, I haven't even gotten out of bed, and I start knitting with whatever just happens to be on my bedstand that I was knitting on the night before if I don't feel like getting up and I just want to listen to the radio. Always knitting. Crocheting, you name it. There's always a craft or hobby with me. I think I might have an addiction. You're number 5, ma'am.
Why did you start knitting?
Story time. Do you know why you started knitting?
Oh, sorry, I was waiting for you to. I was waiting for you to do the thing. Why did I start knitting? Because I found a fun titled book and it seemed cool. No, I always liked the idea of learning how to knit, and I tried to learn several times, but I didn't have any humans to teach me, so I kept trying to learn out of books, and they were not good. And so finally, when I was early 20s, I found the Stitch and Bitch books, and those are good instructional books, and I finally learned how to knit. And I feel sort of connected to history in a way, because there's a huge history of knitting and spinning, and you can go all the way back to the sheep farming and breeding, and there's just the depth of the craft and the history, and it just sort of connects. I don't know, I feel connected to traditions and histories and things. And I guess also it's because I do software all day every day, and it's not tangible really. I can see some buttons on a screen sometimes, but it's just really nice to have something tangible that I can point at and show people and be like, I made that, and they understand roughly how much work went into it. Because you say I made that button, or I fixed a bug in the API endpoint that button eventually calls, and nobody knows what that means. Nobody, it's great. But like, I made this sweater, and they're like, wow. And it's nice to have something tangible like that.
Ah, that's a very good reason to do it. I lost my driver's license because I'm going blind. Without getting too sobby, it is helping me bridge the gap between vision and non-vision. So it is giving me an outlet for the frustrations that come with vision loss. So it is a therapy thing for me.
It's good therapy.
It is very good therapy. It has helped keep me quite a bit calmer than I would be otherwise, because it is an incredibly frustrating process to go through. So for me,
Can't even
I
imagine.
picked it up because there's a lot of hobbies and things I've had to let go over the years, and it sort of helps reduce the sting of having to let go of things that I love to do. So
Mm.
if we keep talking, we'll get sobby because it's a
Oh,
sad,
okay.
depressing topic. We should move on to question 6. Is that me?
Question 6.
How do you get your idea or inspiration for your projects? Sometimes.
That's pretty. And then I start it and then don't finish it for years. Pretty much it.
I'm at the point now where people are like, hey, have you heard of this Cal? And I'm like, I do like a Cal. I'm known for going, I don't know what to make. So I put on a couple of filters on some database searches, primarily Ravelry, sometimes Pinterest. And I just scroll through pictures till I find what I like, and then I make it.
Yeah, it's pretty much I have an enormous backlog of things I've gone, ooh, that's pretty. And at this point, I can just kind of pull from that.
Sometimes I want to make something and I don't see it out there, so I design it because I don't see what I want. I'm playing with a cattail.
Do you usually get inspired by the yarn or the pattern first? Like, do you see the pattern and go, yes, and get yarn for it? Or do you see a yarn and go, I know what pattern you want to be?
I usually go pattern to yarn. I'll buy yarn because it's pretty, but I never, unless I'm on the hunt specifically for yarn for a specific pattern, I'm never entirely sure what the yarn's going to grow up to be, but it comes home with me because it's pretty. But I will go with patterns and go, no, I want to see if I can find yarn for you.
I think I've looked at so many patterns at this point that sometimes I just look at a yarn and be like, I know exactly what you want to be. You want to be a hat. You want to be a hat with cables. You want to be this specific pattern that I saw this one time 6 years ago and hopefully saved on Ravelry so I can find it again.
Hello, favorite bundles.
Heck yeah.
They're a rescue. They're a huge rescue. All right. How do you store? Yeah. How do you store or keep your patterns? Digitally.
Dropbox is wonderful.
I do have a bunch of magazines that I need to, and now that I have a printer scanner, I need to scan them in or talk to one of my buddies who runs his own business because his scanner is top notch. And he's offered to scan in my books that I own and the digital and my magazine patterns that I own so that we can blow up the font because I can no longer read print patterns. So digital all the way.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of interweave knits magazines and like some books, but at this point, digital.
Oh yeah, I go digital first.
I have now figured out how to go, okay, I have this paper pattern. I'm going to take a picture with it on my phone, export it as a PDF, and then import that PDF into Knit Companion.
Yeah.
That's how I do my patterns.
That's a good way of doing it. I'm watching a cat knead to make that crochet blanket I just showed that I dropped on the floor for her softer because it's not squishy enough. It's on top of another blanket on the floor for her to lie on.
Right.
This does not need to get squishier. I don't know if there is a way to make it squishier, but cat kneading is occurring right now at my feet. Okay, cool. That's how that works. Number 8 is you? Me? I don't know.
I don't remember.
This is a big one. This is name 3 of your favorite projects.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. 1 is not finished yet, but is going to be a favorite. And that is the 8-bit sweater. This is going to be a favorite when it's done. It's already a favorite. I can't wear it yet, but it's going to be a favorite.
Don't worry, I've been encouraging her heavily to finish it because I'd like to see her wear it.
I want to see me wear it too.
Highly stressing that one.
That's favorite. This Rivers wrap that I did for the podcast anniversary a few years ago.
I think it was our second year.
Might have been. Anyway,
Second or
this
first year.
giant long scarf that took me an age and a half to knit. But I wear it a lot. It is my scarf in rotation at the moment. It just looks so good. Like, it's so interesting. You can wrap it around your head like 4 times and it looks like just like a whole pile of stripes, or you can, it's long enough that I can just lay it around my neck and it like reaches to my knees, so it just, if you need some more drama in your life, or like you can even just like do the whip it around one shoulder thing, and like it's just very versatile and it just looks really good. And I
Are you
kind of want to make
secretly a
another one.
1920s aviator? Like,
I might be.
just whip it over your shoulder.
Yeah. So
I gave mine to my niece. She wears it all the time. It's part of her holiday, Christmas, winter, seasonal gear.
then this one this one lives in a box because it's very special.
Yeah, that one should live in a box.
It lives in a box that I have to be very careful with, because it also lives with the custom shawl pins that I made for it that use rare earth magnets that are very, very strong.
Oh, yes.
But this is the, let me unfold it properly, the Even Star shawl that I made for my wedding. And this, to date, is the most amazing, impressive, actually difficult thing I have ever done.
I am so happy I no longer have to ride your butt about getting that finished.
Yeah, there was a lot of friendly, get that done, from the entire knitting group.
Yep. Some not so friendly. No, you're not allowed to do anything but this. Like, you have a deadline, ma'am.
Yeah.
And we're not changing the date of your wedding because you're not finished your shawl. Get the shawl done.
I mean, technically, it didn't actually ever get finished. It does not have the beaded edging that it's supposed to, but
nope.
It was too close to the end date, and you know what? It looks just fine without the beaded edging.
It looks so pretty.
So that gets pulled out once a year for a Christmas party that was all virtual this year, so it did not get pulled out.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm just glad that it's seeing use, not just at your wedding.
Like once or twice a year, yeah.
Which is fair. It's a very, very, very fancy shawl.
Yeah, this is not an everyday sort of a deal.
No, it's not.
So those are
we've moved to a different spot on the blanket, and now we're making that spot squishier.
The first spot wasn't, good
squishy enough. About 20 minutes, she'll be laying belly up snoring. This is my life.
So those are my 3 favorites.
You bet. But I don't blame you, because really, the Evening Star, hello. Shall I talk about my 3 while you put that away?
Yeah.
First up is my go-to everyday, I wear it all the time cardigans. It's crochet. This is the campsite cardi. This is made out of cotton because I get very, very warm very, very quickly. So even though I live in a northern climate, it doesn't matter. So I crocheted this bad boy, and then I don't think it's ever been in the closet. It goes from on my person, and because it's cotton, it gets washed regularly. It goes into the wash, and then it goes back on my person. I've worn this enough that I've actually worn the cotton down on my cuffs.
Oh, wow.
And again, I only made this year, so like this is a new-ish knit. But I've worn the cuff flat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I need to make a second one of these because this is a go-to cardigan for me. So I'm going to make a neutral colored one because it's done in a worsted.
Mm-hmm.
So I could do like a dark gray cotton. Still cotton, because I really do like cotton for these things, because then I can wear them a lot, and I can put pockets on this one because I don't pockets on the next one because I don't have pockets on this one. All right, my second, I'm not going to unfold all the way. No, I'm going to unfold all the way. Is my very favorite go-to shawl. It is like year-round go-to shawl. It's my Find Your Fade. It's huge. It doesn't fit entirely on the screen. I did not pick good fade colors. You can see the stripes going on in there. But
whatever.
My Find Your Fade.
It's so pretty.
Is the very first ultra ginormous shawl I've ever made. and very quickly taught me that I don't like small shawls. I don't like 2-skein shawls. I don't wear them. I just wear these ginormous beefy ones.
The 4 to 5 to 7 skein shawls.
Skein? Yeah, I like the 3+ skein shawls. I like the really big ones. So it wins out just over the Exploration Station, which is another big shawl that I have, but only because this was the first big one I finished. And it generally just gets scrunched up in a pile and shoved on a shelf because it doesn't generally live on the shelf too often. I think the only time I don't wear that one is in the summer. Like I wear it right up into spring because I can. And then my last favorite was another shawl. This one I completed a while ago. It was one of my first shawls I did. And this is the coffee shop shawl.
That one. Forgot
Yeah.
about that one.
Yeah, which looks so good on my winter white coat because I have a winter white coat. Because I'm crazy. This goes around it. It's acrylic. It's very, very squishy. The added benefit of this is because it's acrylic. If my mom comes to visit in the wintertime and she needs an extra layer, I can loan it to her and she can use it. So, because she can't use my wool stuff. This is very allergic to wool. And it has tassels. That's what I discovered. I really freaking love tassels. Don't like fringe. Don't like fringe or pom-poms, but I love tassels. So it's a beautiful, easy, like sort of beginner shawl, but yeah, it's another one I wear a lot when I can go places. This winter, obviously, it's not getting a ton of wear, but it looks good with your mittens that you made me. The Diana mittens, because then it's brown and gray.
Yeah,
a nice combo going on. Yeah. I don't wear hats, so those are my 3 favorites. All right. What do we got next? 3 favorites. Number 9. Do you knit according to the season? Well,
not really.
Sorta. I'm not likely to put an entire blanket on my lap in July.
I probably would, if that's what I happen to be working on.
But I mean, do I only knit spring knits for spring and fall knits for fall? No, not really. Like I don't make tank tops. I don't make there's sort of spring summer items I don't knit or crochet.
So I guess no. I don't use super bulky yarn in the height of summer. But that's more of a practicality of I would melt.
Yeah. I think we're less seasonal. We're more, can we tolerate this much heat in our lap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a little bit seasonal. Like I don't think about mittens in summer.
I don't think about mittens at all, so
fair.
You're ahead of me on that one.
No, I've totally knit mittens in summer because one of my project pages has a picture where I was knitting a mitten on the way to DEF CON, which is in August. So yeah, I've totally knit mittens in summer.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to have to go with no. We really don't knit seasonally.
It's whatever. As long as you can tolerate the heat.
You're good to go. Do you want to read question 10?
Yeah. How old were you when you started to knit, and who taught you? I think I mentioned it earlier. I was early 20s and I learned out of a book because I didn't have any humans to teach me.
My sister just sent me a French toast recipe that involves using sweetened condensed milk instead of milk.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah. That's happening tomorrow. I was about 5-6 years ago. 5-6 years ago, I learned to knit, and I am self-taught. I learned via YouTube and a very patient Diana who was always willing to go, oh my God, you knit so tight, and help me anyway.
Still do that.
So I'm a relatively new knitter. My grandmother tried once when I was younger, but I am left-handed and she was right-handed, my mother's mom. And it wasn't until I just let go of the orientation meanings and just knit with my left hand as right hand instructions were given that I discovered I could knit quite easily. Yeah. So my brain just flipped it. Once I stopped trying to think about what I was doing and just did as I was told, my brain just did the flip on its own. So it's fine. Super weird way, and not everybody learns that way. So yeah. But YouTube taught me, technically. YouTube and Diana.
I learned the basics out of the Stitch and Bitch book, and extra techniques I've primarily learned from the Very Pink Knits YouTube channel.
Ooh. Question 11. What is your favorite pattern at the moment?
I mean, it's something that I'm knitting at the moment. Otherwise, I wouldn't be knitting it.
Uh-huh.
Favorite pattern? Is there something that I've made more than once?
I don't think I've ever repeated a pattern.
Vanilla socks?
No, that's a lie. Find Your Fade. I've started a second Find Your Fade.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think right now, at the moment, my favorite thing that I'm working on is going to have to be my 8-bit sweater.
I do like the 8-bit sweater.
When I can pick it up and
I
work
know what
on
my
it.
favorite pattern is at the moment. The one that I'm designing. With the sleeve that's still freaking too small. But yes, that's the one that's occupying all my thoughts at the moment. Like, how do I get this to do the that and the math and the math and the math? And it's just like all the equations floating above my head. The one that I'm designing, that's my favorite at the moment.
All right. Do you want to read question 12?
When was the last time you knitted?
10 minutes ago when we were recording live our last podcast of the year, I was working on my socks.
Yeah, about an hour ago when I bound off the sleeve and discovered it was still too small.
Yeah. When we say we knit all the time, guys, we mean we knit all the time.
Like right now. If I had some stockinette going right now, I'd be knitting.
I could, but we're talking back and forth with questions. It's not really a super good format for it. So I suppose that means I'm up. Let's go. Number 13.
Mm-hmm.
Do you listen to knitting podcasts? Do I?
Which ones don't you listen to?
There's a lot I don't listen to. I consume media at a incredibly frightening rate, if you ask Diana.
Yes.
It just gets consumed. Do we have like top favorites? No, I don't have a top favorite. Do I have people I try to catch all the time? Sure. A historian knits. She's a professor in the States who teaches history, obviously, and is a knitter. The Cozy Up Knit ladies who we've met, Fiber Friends. There's a bunch of podcasts that I like to watch and enjoy. Stranded Dye Works. Many out there that I try to watch and keep up with. I can't keep up with all of them all the time. I've been a longtime fan of the Knit Girls, so like I watch them pretty regularly and fairly religiously. But yeah. Visual ones, audio ones. I listen and watch a lot of knitting YouTube. I enjoy it. Bag O'Day Crochet. She's delightful. I like watching her videos.
I don't think I've watched or listened to any. I don't think I've consumed a podcast of any sort in a little over a year.
Cool.
Because I wanted to read more books, and I realized that all my listening time was going towards podcasts, so I just swapped the podcasts for books. And so, yeah, I just kind of fell out of the habit of podcasts.
That's fine. I mean, I also listen to podcasts about books, tech, being blind in the tech industry. Like, I listen to a weekly podcast of a watch rewatch of Stargate. One friend is watching it for the first time, and one friend's rewatching it with her. So they do a little discussion piece at the end of every episode. And I've watched all the Stargate several times, so I love doing it. So like I'm all over the place. But my ability to consume content is
Staggering.
if I can make that content audio orientated, I can do it a lot. It's how I consume most of my stuff now is audio orientation. So I consume a lot of stuff in a year. Hey, that means it's your turn.
Oh, to read the question?
Yeah.
Are you on Ravelry? Yes. Next question.
We're both on Ravelry, and the podcast is on Ravelry.
Do we remember to check the discussion groups for the podcast on
Nope.
Ravelry ever? No, we don't.
We don't. So, neither one of us are huge forum chat people, which is what Ravelry is. It's a database for hunting and searching and forum chatting. And I love the hunting and searching. I'm not a fan of forums. I drive everybody I know crazy. I don't like forums, period. I'm not a fan.
No, forums are old and clunky. I'm sorry.
I don't like them. I've never liked them. So
There's
it's
a
not
certain
something.
rustic charm to them, but there's better things now.
No, I just can't. I just can't. So technically, yes, I am on Ravelry, but I only use it to search things. All right, 15. Do you knit gifts for people?
Yes.
Do we ever? Yes. We both have
Sometimes.
people in our lives that are incredibly knit worthy. My primary two are my mother and my niece. Hands down, when they want something, I will literally drop what I'm doing. Dinah's watched me do this. Switch gears in the day and pick up something entirely new because they want something. I'm bad for it. I'm bad for dropping everything and starting anything new anyway. It doesn't help me any. I'm finishing a blanket for an aunt of mine, a full-sized queen blanket, just because she likes the look of handmade blankets. So I'm making her one because she is that kind of knit-worthy person. I know for you, it's your mom and your brother are high on your list. Yeah.
Husband also.
Yep. Your husband
He's
appreciates
finally
a good
got he got this is his little poro that I crocheted a few years ago. I made him socks finally recently, and we're in deep discussion about a sweater.
Ooh. Hey, I once gifted his brother when I was dating him a scarf because I couldn't stand the short scarf anymore. So now he can bundle up properly.
His head becomes the scarf.
It does. It's 6 feet of Irish moss. It's just scarf.
It's a lot of scarf.
It's a lot of scarf. He wears it all the time, like, so I know it's useful because he wouldn't reach for it if he didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I know he uses it and likes it. So, but yeah, it's primarily my mom and my niece are my two ones. I do knit for my sister as well too. So she put in a request for dishcloths.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm making dishcloths for everybody by March for birthday presents. All right, 16. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Is that you? Is that me? Who's asking the questions now?
I'll ask it.
Sure.
Do people ever make fun of your do people ever make fun of your knitting?
No.
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 I get a lot of astonishment.
Mm-hmm.
I think
general impressedness.
Yeah, I get a lot of, oh my goodness, you're knit and you're blind. I get a lot of that commentary. If I'm out in public, I have my cane. So that's a thing I get. Although I'm the victim of a lot of people's inspiration porn. When they see me knitting and doing things, that happens to me. But no, I've never been made fun of because I knit.
I make fun of myself. I like to knit and drink tea, and like I'm just 80 years old at heart. Like
yeah, you would. Yeah, and my favorite thing to do is get into bed early and knit.
Yeah, like
with a shawl over my shoulder, like
we're between 70 and 90 years old, the two of us, and yeah, like
neither one of us have children, and neither one of us is in our 40s yet. Our ideal Friday night is sitting in a chair curled up under a blanket with a book on Audible and a knitting project.
So we're
so hip. We're so hip.
Maybe like a little plate of cake or cookies or something.
Oh yeah. To go
homemade,
with your tea.
Of course.
Well, yes, to go with your tea. I mean, obviously. My mom will be so ashamed of me. Or proud, one of the two. Oh my goodness. But no, I've never made fun of for knitting.
Yeah. I make fun of some of my early projects. Those are lumpy monstrosities.
I mean, and then again, like I'm nearly 5'11", so I generally just don't get made fun of by people as a rule because I'm just bigger than most people. So there might be some of that. So I don't know if it happens if you perhaps are shorter.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it.
Yeah, but I generally don't get teased at all. So it's just a thing, unless people know me. All right, 17, right? Yes. What was the last skein of yarn you bought?
Oh, the yarn that I'm making my sweater out of. This is a tiny cake. There's lots more cakes, but yes, this yarn is the last yarn I bought. It is a 5-ply super bulky roving.
I bought 2 skeins of alpaca yarn to make boot cuffs out of because I live in a place that gets to minus 40 Celsius. So there should be enough for me to make my boot cuff leg warmers because there's 200 grams per skein. One's in a natural color and one's in a sort of reddy brown white twisted together to stripe colorway. So I should have enough to do a pair of leg warmers for myself and mittens that I could have on the inside of sewn over top mittens. It's the last yarn I bought for myself because everything else that has been coming home for me recently has been gifts. Including the skein of cotton Diana gave me, which I saw on the way to come sit down to do this on someone's cat bed. So somebody slept with your cotton yarn last night.
I'm glad she likes the present that was not for her.
She doesn't play with it, she just sleeps on it.
Okay.
So there's that. All right, you are up with question 18.
What are your favorite needles to use?
Oh, Chow Goo red lace. I don't even gotta think about it. Those are my favorite. My Chow Goos, the red lace cord. All-time
nice.
favorite. They're
I
my
don't have any of
favorites.
those. I'm just gonna say a generic like wood, bamboo, something natural and warm to the touch.
That's her.
Unless I'm doing socks, in which case I just want to go speedy fast and I want metal.
That makes sense. No, for me it's my Chow Goos. I don't have many pairs. I will be buying more pairs. I love my Chow Goos. I actually lost 2 4mm needles, fixed circulars this year. They died. So
no.
I'm buying some new needles for my birthday. Anybody's guess is that they're going to be Chow Goo fixed circulars. That or I'll save up and buy an Addy Click set. One of the two. Yeah. I've not entirely decided yet. All right. I'm up. I'm number 19. How big is your stash?
I can answer this question very easily.
Oh, we're rotating.
So there's the top.
Yep.
And we go down and down and down and it monitor's in the way, but there's another bin at the bottom there.
Yep.
It's that big.
It's that big?
It's that big. That's my stash.
That big? That's your stash?
Oh, I'm Dutch angle.
There
we go.
All better?
Yeah.
My yarn currently fits in a large china cabinet. My mom and dad, when they moved to Saskatoon, did not want to take their giant china cabinet with them. So I inherited it, as I inherit many things in my life. And I went, this is perfect because I can put all my yarn in there on the glass shelves. And I can put all of my miscellaneous sewing stuff on the bottom and tuck it away and close the doors, which keeps my yarn safe from moths, but is still technically on display because they're glassed.
Nice.
Yeah, so my yarn fits in a china cabinet. Barely, but it fits.
It counts.
It counts. All right. That puts you up with question, I think, 21, 20? 20.
How many whips do you have?
I actually have to count on my fingers. So if we include the stuff I have started this week, I have a winter lights shawl, a cozy memory granny square blanket, pair of grandpa socks. They're just vanilla socks in grandpa colors. Then I have the 8-bit sweater, the Find Your Fade. What else do I got going on? I have 2 shawl designs on the go. I have the blanket of doom. I have the crocheted blanket I'm working on that looks like a quilt. I have the cozy memories. No, I've ripped that one. So that's what, 9 projects? And I know I'm forgetting some. Oh, my simple hug. So now we're at 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got at least, I think, one other going on. So I've got like 10 or 11 whips right now. And for me, that's conservative.
Okay, so I got the super bulky one that I'm working on designing. I've got the 8-bit. I've got the colorwork Hufflepuff mittens that are going to get ripped and redone. I've got the contours mitts that are on hold because I needed the needles. The lighthouse crocheted shawl is in that bin somewhere.
Yeah, that's a whip.
I think that's it.
Oh, you're doing good. That's only, what, 5?
That's only 5. I think that's it.
You're doing well.
I actually finished things this year and then cast on more.
That's how the hobby works.
Yeah. You're never finished.
You're never done.
Never truly finished.
Never done. Oh, I thought for sure I'd have over 20 whips. I'm so happy to have less than 20 whips. Okay, cool. 21. Colors or neutrals?
Oh, I have bought
Colors.
so many beautiful colors
Colors.
and then determined that I get the most wear out of things that are made of neutrals, like this.
Colors. All the way.
I like
buy
knitting with
color,
colors.
I knit
I like
color, I
wearing
wear color. Color.
I like knitting with colors, but I wear neutrals. I have learned this finally about myself. So we have the cream sweater and the like black and white 8-bit, and yeah. I'm learning slowly.
I sent you a brown alpaca shawl.
Yes. Yep. Those are neutrals.
You wear neutrals. I wear color. Diana can tell you it is just
color all the time.
My wardrobe is a riot of color.
Color and white.
Yep. Yep. I own a lot of black shirts and gray shirts to go with my color. That's how I do it. Since you guys only see me shoulder up, you'll ever see the black shirts and the black and the gray shirts. But it's colored printed skirts and dresses and white shrugs, and I just shawls of all sorts of different colors, weights, and sizes. I love color. I love color so much. So I'm a huge color fan. You will never not see me coming.
True.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, that's you, ma'am. Question 22.
Sweaters or socks?
To
wear, to knit, I assume.
To knit, yeah.
Because to wear, both. To knit, I'm really big on the sweaters right now. Given that I just finished one and I'm still working on 2.
I finished 9 sweaters this year, and I finished 1 pair of socks.
Yeah, I finished 2 sweaters. I've got 2 almost done sweaters. And I think I knit 1 pair of socks.
Sweaters.
We're
definitely sweater knitters. We do knit socks, but I don't find myself reaching for it.
I'm just really big on sweaters right now. I'm sure it'll come around and I'll do fancy socks at some point, because I have several collections of sock patterns that I would like to knit at some point. They're very pretty. I just haven't felt the itch.
Yeah, which is fair. I like sweaters. Well, specifically in my case, cardigans, but yeah, sweater knitting. All right, what do we got? Question 23. Oh my, we're making progress. How long have you been a knitter? 5 or 6 years for me.
I specifically remember that I bought that Stitch and Bitch book in late January 2011.
So yeah, you've been knitting longer than I have.
So it'll be 10 years at the end of January.
Mm-hmm.
Full decade! I should get cake for that too. Actually, that'll line up nicely with episode 200.
Episode 200, a decade of knitting. I feel like we've upgraded from cookies or cupcakes. I feel like you need a cake.
I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I think it's cake. All right, ma'am, you're next.
Have you ever spun yarn?
Yes.
Just yes.
Diana
Not
has
but
an electric spinning wheel. I have a single treadle. Oh man, Ashford traditional, and we both drop spin. I have a traditional drop spindle, and then you have the Scottish one, right?
Yeah.
So between the two of us, we have 4 different types of spinning techniques or tools.
Yep.
Because we both own individual ones that are different from the others.
How many skeins have you spun fully at this point?
2.
I think I'm also at 2.
Yeah.
It was the white one and the brightly colored one.
I like the Ashford traditional, but I do really like the idea of getting something small and electric. So my goal is to save up and get an electric spinning wheel. Be the next to add to the collection. I enjoy my Ashford traditional. I do use it, but I'm not very good at it yet. I'm still learning. So I'm better with my drop spindle, and I do spin on the drop spindle. I'm actually looking off camera because it's actually above the computer setup right now. So the fiber that is sitting up there staring me down. I don't pick it up as often as I should. There is no reason for me not to. I just don't. I find it incredibly relaxing when I do it. I love it when I do it. I just need to do it more often. All right. I suppose it's me, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Question 25. Have you ever dyed yarn?
No.
No,
But I
but
bought
I want to.
I have 2 undyed skeins that I got specifically to try dyeing with food dyes.
Excellent. I do. I want to learn how to dye. I want to learn how to dye with acid dyes. Yeah. Strangely enough, I would have been able to say yes to this year if we had not been in a pandemic. Lockdown prevented me from taking my
Doing
lessons.
anything.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'll try to learn next year after I'm vaccinated. Your turn.
Have you ever been to a knitting event? Yes.
Have we
Several.
ever? We've flown out of province for one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was fun.
Yeah. And we will be doing so again as soon as it's safe to do so because I miss those things.
Yeah.
So much. Yeah, we've done Knit City. We did a lot of Manitoba ones, mostly because we're both originally from Manitoba. Now that Diana's in Ontario, once it's safe to do so, I'm going to start hopping over a province and we're going to start doing Ontario ones and Manitoba ones if I can swing it. I'm going to try to figure out how to get you to justify coming home for a weekend to go to the Manitoba Fiber Festival.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, we got to work on that one. So that's sort of and I know we've always had sort of the idea. I've always had the goal idea to drag Diana out of country for a knitting event, and she doesn't seem opposed to the idea. So.
Yeah, so opposed. Oh no, I have to go look at pretty yarn in other places.
Oh,
hardship.
so hard. So that's something I'd like to do. But I know right now it's all of that stuff's on the back burner until it's safe for us to gather in groups again. So I suppose it's me. 27. What is your local yarn store or LYS? Do you even know what your local yarn store is?
No, I haven't been able to go, so I have no idea. I know it's a 20-minute walk south of here. I don't
Cool.
know what
Do you
it's
know the name?
called. I've never been there.
Cool. There's only one local yarn store in this capital city of Manitoba, and it is Wolseley Wool, and that is my local yarn store. And it's decidedly more than a 20-minute walk for me. It is, in fact, a 45-minute bus ride, close to an hour bus ride for me to get to. Yeah. That's how that works. That means you're up.
28. Do you ever buy yarn online?
All the time.
Yes.
All the time.
This yarn, bought online. From a farm 20 minutes north of here.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of online shopping. It gives me access to a lot of indie dyers that aren't super local to me. It also lets me have access to indie dyers when it's not specifically a yarn event. So if I want to specialty order something or I want to pick something up, I can totally do that. And for me, it just gives me more access to different resources because I have one local yarn store and Michael's and Walmart.
Don't necessarily have the things that you're looking for.
Don't always have what I'm looking for. So if they don't, and then the online ones, let me do it. Some of my favorites are like Yarn Canada. They ship out of BC, but they carry a lot of brands. There's another one that distributes, I think, off the East Coast that gets stuff in from the continent, from Europe and the UK and stuff. So it's like it just depends on what it is I'm looking to get, so to where it'll be coming from. So obviously we're next door to America. I'm not going to New Jersey to buy yarn. I'm not heading over to, and it's harder for me to get to Rhinebeck than it is for some people. So I tend to buy from vendors online because it's just easier. It's just more approachable for what I do. So
Ooh, maybe Rhinebeck 2021 if vaccines go well.
if we're able, I suspect it'll be one of those ones where it just depends on how large of a percentage of the population can get vaccinated before fall of next year, and that just comes down to just the doses and getting them out to everybody, and hopefully not having too many poo-poo heads who don't get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as a society globally, we have failed if we're less than 80%. If we're less than 80%, we have failed. We have the ability to make this like smallpox and essentially eradicate it. There's still smallpox out there. It's not a dead disease, but we can minimalize it a lot, but it's going to require a vast majority of us to just suck it up and get 2 shots in the arm.
Oh no.
So, yeah, it's such a minor thing that I'm going to be flabbergasted when we don't reach 80% across the world. And I mean, 2 years from now, we'll be at 80%. Like, there's a lot of us. It's going to take a long time to get us all vaccinated. So it just depends. But yeah, if they're able to do a ride back, we are so going. Like, first ride back they're able to do, you and I were there.
Yeah, it's like a 3.5 hour drive from here.
We're doing it.
So like it's a long drive, but it's doable in a day, no problem.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it'll be like, I will book us a space close to there. I will fly out to you, and away we go, because I am an excellent navigator. Just don't let me drive.
Yeah, they might object to like strapping the cane to the front of the car.
You know, my dad always offers. And I feel like at some point we're gonna have to April Fool's joke that to the front of his vehicle, and I'll need him to take a photo, and then I'll be like, "Okay, I'm ready to drive." Okay, touch them.
Perfect.
Of his big, souped up truck, the extended cab, so a family of 4 can sit comfortably.
Oh, that thing is a beast.
It's a beast. It's a comfortable beast to ride in, though. It's a nice truck. So yeah, no, it's as soon as they can, as soon as they do a ride back, I want to go. It's been on the bucket list for way too long for us. All right, 29. Which FO do you use all the time?
Oh, my socks. In fact, socks.
If we're looking at sheer volume of use, this cardigan. This cardigan is on me 4 or 5 days out of 7.
That is a high use object.
It is a high use object. I use it a lot. If we're going use over time, it's my Find Your Fade. Because over time, my Find Your Fade has gone everywhere. It has been worn in all sorts of situations.
The dishcloths you made me.
Yeah.
Use those all the time.
Yeah, those get used a lot for people. So, all right, that's you then, right? Yes. You're number 30.
Do you multitask when you knit?
Yep.
Yes. So much yes.
So I listen to books, podcasts, I watch anime, television shows.
Role.
Yeah, Critical Role is a great one to watch and knit to. I talk to my mom on the phone. I do phone meetings. I chat with my sister upstairs. I share a house with my sister. I'll go upstairs and chat with her. She'll come down here and we'll chat. I'm always doing something else and knitting. But the only thing I don't multitask and knit with is dishes.
Yeah.
Sweeping the floor. Like if I'm house cleaning, I'm not knitting. But that's about it.
Work meetings. Mm-hmm. Watching Star Trek with Mr. Diana.
Yep.
We're doing a full watch of Next Gen right now.
Nice.
Because I did a super truncated version so that I was up to date, so I could watch Picard when it came out this summer.
So now you're doing the expanded and actually
we're doing
watch
the full all of it, yeah.
Have fun. I grew up on the Next Gen, so
it's season 1's a little rough.
Season 1 of all Star Trek is a little rough.
Yeah.
That's just a rule about Star Trek.
Gosh, it's so charmingly vintage. I did not realize.
It is not aged well. It is not.
No.
Still enjoyable, but aging, well.
Yeah, you have to enjoy it for what it is. It is 30 years old.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with Babylon 5. The content.
Babylon 5's still great. The effects are a bit dated.
Amazing. The content, the plot, the characters.
Was so on point. Oh, it's so good.
Still super relevant. The shoulder pads, not so much.
Yeah, well, maybe the aliens like the shoulder pads. I don't know.
Yeah, the graphics they're starting to show their age, but you know what? It's fine. Everything else is still held up very well, so it's not a problem. All right, what are we looking for? We are 31?
Yeah.
Favorite compliment about your knitting? Oh, wow, this is requiring some deep thought.
Yeah, no, I usually get a generic, wow, that's beautiful, stuff like that. The one that bothers me a little bit, because I know when people say it, they like mean it as a very high compliment, but it bothers me for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why, is something to the effect of I would buy that, or I'd buy that in a store, or it looks like you could buy that in a store, which
Okay.
I know they mean it as a very high compliment, like it looks professionally done, like something that could be sold for a lot of money and like deserves recognition and praise, and like it's very well made.
Yeah.
But to me it's like, it's not a generic thing made with dubious morals in a fast fashion. It's like the antithesis to fast fashion and human exploitation.
So yeah. So while you know they mean well, you don't like the connotation that is something that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
mass produced and completely replaceable within 6 months, when it's very much not.
Yeah. So like I know what they mean, but
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when people offer me praise for doing simple tasks. I understand they mean it as a compliment, but my brain goes, could you not? It's just so insulting. I get you. It's hard. My most favorite compliment to get is, I use this all the time and it's worn out.
Ooh, yes. That is the thing that, like, my mom has given me back
Makes me
like
happy.
mittens and socks and stuff that I've made for her, and she's like, I'm so sorry, I wore a hole in it, and she's not even saying it like it's a compliment, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
no,
nope.
this is great. You wore it so much it's got a hole. This is fantastic.
You wore it out. It was like when I had to Diana the mitts, I was like, I need more thrumming. I have all thrummed out. Make fat squishy again.
Yeah.
Which was great because it meant, I told you, I wore the mitts a lot. I still do wear the mitts a lot. So like, don't be surprised when they show up in a year or two because I need more thrumming. Because that's how that works. But yeah, that's my biggest compliment when somebody goes, I've worn through your dishcloths, I've used it so much. I'm like, oh, dude, I will get you another one. No problem. That is amazing. Thank you. That's a huge compliment. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yes, that one.
That one. Yeah. All right. I suppose that's me, hey? Nope, that's you. Who's reading?
All right. I don't know. Me, I think. What is your favorite stitch marker? I don't have an answer for this, so yeah, you go first while I figure it out.
I told you what your favorite ones were.
Well, yes.
I like how you know. Just to know. Unshockingly, I have two. It's either this giant dragon one that my mom and dad got me. If I can get that to show up on camera, which is kind of hard with how I'm holding it. It's a huge dragon, guys. It's this lightweight metal, full-on fantasy dragon with wings spread. Wait for Diana to look at the screen.
I'm looking. Yes, dragon. Oh, yes, dragon.
This one, yeah. It's a beefy one. It only goes on sweaters or blankets because it weighs a metric ton.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't use it very often because it's quite heavy, but it is my favorite. And the other one, unshockingly, is Jack. Because I am a massive Nightmare Before Christmas fan. So my all-time other favorite stitch marker is Jack. I have ones that I like my D&D dice set, my Sailor Jupiter. Yeah. I got one that's a little sea turtle. I've got the little ice cream cones you made me. So like I have other ones I enjoy, but my two favorite are the dragon and Jack.
Yeah, the D20 is on my 8-bit sweater right now because that just seemed too appropriate. So there's that one. That
if you weren't using it on your 8-bit, I'd be kind of shocked.
There's this like whole set that you gave me.
I don't remember. Made for you.
Yes, there's this whole set of steampunky ones, including this fun corset for counting decreases. That I was disappointed I could not use on the comfort fade because it required more rows between the decreases. That's the pattern's fault, not yours.
Most sweaters only go 4, 6, or 8 repeats.
I know, this was big.
I thought I'd be fine. I didn't realize I needed to get you a 14 one.
Oh God, no, that would just be so overly dangly. It's got this fun giant octopus.
Yep.
So it's like that whole set. And
very Diana set.
What else? Oh, and other fun stitch markers. I have this llama corn progress keeper. Which is super not showing up. Hang on.
We could talk stitch markers for days.
Well, okay. I swear it's cute. The lighting in here is questionable at best right now.
That's fine.
But yeah, I have I have an assortment of very adorable stitch markers. And those are just like the top 5.
I got snowflakes, reindeer. I got all sorts. Like stitch markers are
Got
fun.
a tea set, and I've got the ones that I got specifically for my Even Star Shawl that are just like beads and really pretty.
I feel like maybe this year I should start collecting things like donuts and coffee cups and stuff.
Well, that'd be cute.
Yeah, some fun food ones maybe this year. All right. I suppose it's me. All right. Question 33. Have you ever taught anyone to knit?
Yes.
See, people make me promise not to do that.
Oh yeah, because you're like completely backwards, inside out and backwards.
I'm inside out and backwards. I would be bad to learn from. I can teach people to crochet fine, but I can't teach them to knit. I don't. The way I do it is just different enough that if you don't think the same way I do, it's going to be a lot harder. And knitting should not be hard. You should learn from somebody who can explain what they're doing and have it not look mirror image to you naturally.
Fair.
Yeah.
At my last job, I had started a craft club, and there were 2 or 3 people that I taught to knit over the course of its like year and a half of existence.
Yep.
So I was actually like getting almost okay at teaching people how to knit. Which is kind of fun.
Yeah, no. People have made me promise not to do that, and that's fair. All right, your turn.
What is your worst knitting habit? Never weaving in ends.
Ooh, not taking breaks.
Sitting completely unergonomically.
That's another one that's gonna kick you in the teeth. What's another bad knitting habit I have? I don't take notes. I don't take notes. I will leave and abandon projects for months on end, and I don't take notes. I'm also known for not swatching.
Project pages.
Yeah. Everyone's got bad habits when they're knitters. It's just how it's. Yeah, we're human. We're gonna have a bad habit or two, but those are some of the top offenders I've got. How's that fringe on your Comfort Fade cardigan going? Have you trimmed your ends?
I trimmed the ends for the video call.
Oh, good.
Just the ones that would stick out and be visible. The ones like all down the inside of the arms, I'm probably never going to trim those. It'll just be there forever. But like I did around the back of the collar and the cuffs and like the bottom edge.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of the other ones are going to ever get trimmed.
They're woven in, guys.
Yeah.
She literally just needs to snip them.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so bad. Okay. 35. What are your favorite types of yarn?
Wool. 100% wool.
Cotton.
Cotton is also nice. Nice cotton is nice.
Yeah. Well, cotton is like wool. It comes in varying spectrums because you say wool, but there's like so much.
It's true.
In the wool spectrum.
I'm a fan into this one at the moment.
Yeah.
It just smells
I'm a fan of cotton blends. I like cotton blends. Cotton acrylic or cotton bamboo or cotton linen, cotton silk. As far as like wool goes and stuff, it just depends on who I'm knitting for. If it's myself, I'll do a beautiful rustic, full-on like domestic wool yarn and be super comfortable with that next to my skin. If I'm gift knitting for people with small humans, it's whatever the mom wants. For yarn, a lot of moms pick acrylic because they like washers and dryers. Fair. Babies get messy fast. And then there are some people in my life who have high allergies and react very bust out into hardcore days-long rashes if they touch real wool. And I knit in acrylic for them. So like I have types I like in all of the varieties, but my go-to is I love a good cotton.
I love a slightly toothy wool.
Yeah.
Don't know what breed that is. It's slightly toothy. Like I think this is Dorset, and it's like I could have it next to my neck, but it's like it's almost too much for right next to my neck. Or like the Knit Picks wool of the Andes that the 8-bit's out of.
Yeah. Oh, I wear my flat white, which is Nitpicks Wool of the Andes, right next to my skin, and it feels fine. It doesn't bother me the slightest. But
There's something specifically about like the toothiness of the yarn and the texture of wooden needles is just this sweet spot of like tactile meditation for me that just instant calm zen. I could do this forever.
oh, see, I love knitting and wearing the cotton I like because it's more versatile. I can wear it longer.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. All right, your turn.
Which knitting techniques do you love and which do you loathe?
Ah, ribbing. I hate ribbing.
I have no problem with ribbing. I hate center double decreases. Just any
Ooh.
kind of anything that breaks the flow.
Okay. Okay.
I've made my peace with cables because I love the effect so much. And I've figured
I
out how to
understand
cable without a
that.
cable needle so it doesn't break it as much. But
I
center double
can't.
decreases just
Drive
wreck
you
my day.
nuts. Yeah, drive you nuts. I'm fine with center double decreases. I think I'd have to go with like techniques that I love. I love garter. Not a fan of stockinette as much unless it's in the round. Discovered I love color work. I am highly addicted to color work. I enjoy
Color
it
work is
a
so
lot.
great. Stranded color work is
Just,
stranded
just
color work
potato chip.
when you don't have to catch your floats.
Yep, yep. Just so potato chippy. So like that flows real easy for me.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
mean, like hate wise, I think the only thing I think I complain about a lot is ribbing. It's just the bane of my existence. I just hate doing it.
Yeah, no, I love anything. I love anything that gets into a really good flow. Like ribbing, you can do in a good flow. Any knit purl combination that is repeatable. Even lace, if
Yeah,
it's short
yeah,
enough to memorize and get in a good flow.
yeah.
Anything where the rate of needle or the rate of stitches from one needle to the other if it slows down at all or like has to stop because you have to pass stuff over other stuff, hate that.
She's never making another Find Your Fade shawl.
I think about it sometimes, but it took so freaking long. It was like a 2.5 year project.
Yep, and you hated that center double decrease the whole way through.
I really did.
You really did. All right. 37. What is your biggest knitting disaster? I know what mine is.
Okay, you go first. I need to think.
My very first sweater, I had to rip it out because I cannot do a sweater as per my chest measurements.
Right.
I actually have to do my upper bust measurement and then finagle it in the front with extra math to go around the girls, but still remain small enough across my back shoulders that it fits properly. I actually have to heavily modify and hack almost all sweater patterns. And my very first sweater, I just didn't know if I was going to have to do that or not. So I made it as described in pattern, and it was so big. It was so unwieldy. It was not good.
Wasn't it a positive ease sweater too?
Yeah, it was meant to have positive ease. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah. So
it was
I,
a learning experience.
to date, that's my biggest disaster in my mind because that hurt to have to rip that. And I'll rip things easy, whatever. I make a mistake, I rip it. Do it again. Not the end of the world.
Knitting disaster.
Your brother's mitts that you rage quit.
I keep blocking those from my mind. Yeah, I think it's anything where I get cocky and I think I know what I'm doing enough to design my own pattern.
I feel
Just
like
makes me
mittens.
so angry. Mittens in general, yeah, like
Mittens. You've
what
got
trying
this
to
thing about thumb gussets that are just, it's astonishing how often you will attempt those.
because it's specifically mittens because like I've done fingerless mitts and those work fine.
Yep. Yep. It's just mittens. It's just mittens. You
Specifically
and mittens. Oh, you are
Or
so
no,
cursed.
the thrummed mittens that I've made like 18 of. No, that's a lie, like 6. Because Knit
Not
Club
like
all got
18.
them for I think
There's
it was 6 pairs
6
because
pairs.
Knit
Yep.
Club got them all.
Yep.
Still haven't made myself a pair. But, like I made those fine, but I was following a pattern. So it's anytime I try to make my own pattern
Yep.
for mitts, like I
Yep.
did with my brothers, because I'm like, it's just a vanilla mitt.
Saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember those ones because you rage quit those. You rage quit those in a public restaurant, and like you rarely get that frustrated because so when you're like, "That's it, I'm done," and you put them down, I'm like, "Hello, that's a violent overture of English coming out of your mouth." And then I think I went, "Cool." So we need a plate of fried mushrooms, and we ordered deep fried mushrooms, and I think you and I ate a bunch
I
of
want
them that
deep fried
day.
mushrooms now.
Well, it's not like I can get them now anyway because I can't do curbside pickup.
I might have to learn how to deep fry mushrooms.
I feel like you just need to make an excuse to come into the city for the weekend, Manitoba Fiber Festival, and spend the weekend with me so we can just do nothing but knitting stuff.
My work has a program wherein I'm allowed to spend up to 90 days of the year living and working someplace else. Tax laws get weird after that, which is why it's 90 days. But I can live somewhere else for 90 days. So I'm
Well, I mean,
thinking
I don't think you
summers
need
in
to come
Manitoba.
here. Yeah, I don't think you need to come. Like, I don't think you need to live here for 90 days. But if you were to do that, if you were to arrange it so that one of your weekends was during the Manitoba Fiber Festival, that'd be great. And your mom can have you for the rest of the time, and your mother-in-law can have you for the rest of the time. But that weekend, you're mine. You
Yeah,
live with me, you're
I'm
mine.
thinking I might investigate some lake time
Yeah, yeah,
and some
yeah.
parent time,
Do it
and
up.
yeah, so
Do it
in
up.
the after
But
times I can definitely come back and live in Manitoba for like a month or two at a time.
that Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday block is mine. And I don't have to share you with anybody.
Yes, there's a fiber thing happening.
Mine. You can have her back when it's done. Otherwise, I share Diana fine. I understand. I have to share. And I'm the eldest. I don't do that well. I understand. The thing. No, visiting your family is very important. So I think that would be amazing. All right, where are we at? 38, which I think is you. Yes, is you.
Yeah. If you could meet
Will that be?
anyone in the knitting community, who would it be?
I want to know the answer to this question.
I
She's
think
rapidly thinking through her names.
some of the male designers are like they seem like really fun people to like have a coffee with.
That's a good one.
Like I'm thinking like Stephen West would be like really fun to just hang out with for a while.
Uh-huh.
Um Levi from what's his podcast called?
Spurger. Is he Spurger? No.
No, he's Nurse
Levi is
Knits.
WTF.
WTF Knitting, yeah. He
Yeah.
seems like he'd be really fun.
Oh my god, that would be so fun. Oh, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, I think like I would love to hang out with some of the gentlemen in the knitting community.
I think that's a very good call. I'm gonna have to go Laura and Leslie of the Knit Girls.
Yeah, also good
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah, because I feel like you, me, Laura, Leslie, Knit Girls, knitting convention one weekend. We would be dangerous and it would be so much fun. It would just be Diana would need so many naps when we were finished. She's tired now just thinking about it.
I am. I'm gonna have to go make coffee just to get through this.
I feel like that would be so much fun to do. That'd be so much fun to do. Yeah, so good. It'd be nothing but books and knitting and snarky, sarcastic, dry humor all weekend long.
Perfect.
Oh,
that'd be pretty
so
great.
good. It'd be
That'd
so
be
good. So good. All right. Then that leaves me with number 39. We made it to the end. What is your ultimate knitting goal?
I would like to make a sweater starting from the sheep. I want to shear the sheep, prep the wool, spin the yarn, and then knit it into a sweater.
That's a hell of a goal.
Yeah.
That's a serious goal. Holy crap.
This is a years-long goal in the making.
Crikey. Okay, makes mine seem a little less daunting for anybody but me. I would like to knit in a fingering weight sweater in black.
Ooh.
Which for anybody who knows me or knows the podcast knows that I can't see black stitches at worsted or bulky. So to knit a fingering weight sweater in black would mean to cast on and literally hope and pray I do it right, because there is no way for me to see if I've made a mistake till it is way too late. Because I would have to knit the entire project blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. That's my ultimate scary knitting goal is to do that.
Much scare, so fear. Wow.
Much scared, so fear.
Yes.
Where was that earlier today? That would have been a great episode title.
Well, we didn't say anything scary earlier.
And that is, if you know how bad my vision is, that's a you have to understand I barely see a regular fingering in color. So I'm doing a lot of it on guesswork and simple intuition at this point now anyway. So the black is it's just hardcore mode. It's just that next step. Can I do that? And not even really, I'd have to count my cast on as I went, because like I wouldn't be able to count my stitches on my cast on. It would have to be all memory and intuition. All memory and intuition. Yeah, that's a hell of a leap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like you're from sheep to sweater.
Yeah. I know people go from sheep to shawl in a single weekend, so
I could not do that.
but it takes a team, and I don't think they have to shear the sheep.
I will watch you shear a sheep. I don't want to do that.
It'll be a very, very, very serious undertaking.
I mean, I'll go to a farm with you where there's sheep we can pat, and alpaca we can pet, and then like roving and stuff for sale from said sheep and alpaca. That I would do. But I don't want to shear the sheep. I don't. But even then, I wouldn't want to process the fiber either. Like I prefer my fiber processed.
Oh yeah, I know while I'm doing it, if this ever comes to pass, that I'll be like, why did I want to do this?
Why? But
at the other end, when you've got a sweater that's like, I made this.
Yeah, that is such a bucket list check mark. It's not. That's huge, but so big.
We'll work up to it.
So big. I am not ready for that level of commitment, ma'am. Also, we don't want to give me anything sharp and put it next to anybody's skin.
I mean, they've got the electric razor things now.
Would it be okay if I did it from when somebody else had sheared it? I would be so afraid of harming the animal because I see so little.
That's fair.
Yeah. But I mean, if you let me jump in from like processing the roving to sweater, like that I could do. Yeah. That's all conceivably in definitely my range. But we're going to have to start spinning a lot more.
Yeah. So I figure I've got the sweater knitting pretty much figured out. So the next step will be to get the spinning figured out. Yeah. And then I can start process. I'm just going to keep working backwards.
We get to ride back and I'm like, so you ready to start buying yourself fiber to process? No, I'm not ready yet. Well, here we are. Let's go to this barn. They've got some. Let's tempt you. Because that's what I do. I'm a good friend. I help you spend your money. Yay.
My bank account does not thank you.
Like I need help spending mine. I'm really good at it. Guys, when we go to knitting conventions, Diana takes money from me, so I have food money at the end of the day because I am really bad at budgeting for that. We stand there and I'm like, and this is my lunch money. Okay, hang on to it for me. Okay, gotta go by. She's not watching me close enough. I spend too much of my money all at once. Really? Okay, fine. We have to sleep on the other blanket now.
Oh, well, it's like turning the pillow over to the cool side.
It really is, I think, for her. So I have now lost my footrest. All right, but that's it. That's 39 knitting questions.
Woo!
Woohoo! Well,
I think I gotta go eat some more leftover turkey now.
I think you need to make that focaccia turkey thing.
Yes, I need to look at that.
Because it's a vegan recipe, I would prep the dough. And then once the dough had proofed, I would then put in all your fillings and sandwich the second dough layer on top. Instead of prepping one long sheet of dough, putting all your filling in, wrapping it over and resting it, because you got to proof it for like an hour. But if you're vegan cooking, it's fine. But if vegetable meat,
not so much, yeah.
It would be better to make two separate focaccia sections, proof it, and then layer it together and cook it. Because you got to bring up the leftovers to room temperature anyway. Like you got to bring them up to temp because you're supposed to just be cooking the bread, not the bread and the filling.
Right. Well, I mean, the turkey's already cooked, so
yeah. But the gravy is so good. All right. On that note, we got to go find food. So I'm going to say until we see you at some point, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter what happens, Don't forget
Don't
to
forget
knit.
to knit.
I had to change it because it's just like we're not checking in next week. This is not how this video series works.